Lesson 16 is some more complicated expressions in which we evaluate. So still evaluation, as we've talked about previously, but they become a little more complicated. As you can see in this example, more incorporate symbols of inclusion more into the expressions, as well as negative signs perhaps. So important as you substitute to, I think, appropriately use parentheses to help keep yourself organized and pay extra attention to the order of operations. But again, evaluation. So as we've discussed, evaluate means to substitute and simplify. In other words, find the value of the expression. So let's begin with substitution. They tell us a is 2, x is -1, so everywhere we see a, replace it with 2 in parentheses. Everywhere we see x, replace it with -1 in parentheses, and keep all other signs and symbols from the expression. A is 2, x is -1, keep your bracket, and keep your negative sign. A again is 2, a is 2, minus -1, and don't lose your parentheses and brackets. Now we've substituted, follow the order of operations. We should begin with symbols of inclusion, of which there are many in this expression. I would begin, and you should begin, with 2 minus -1. Welcome, Natalie. Alright, take 2. I would begin right here inside this symbol of inclusion, these parentheses, with 2 minus -1, which is actually 2 plus 1. Change subtraction to addition, add the opposite. 2 plus 1 is 3. And copy everything else down. Alright, now we should be working inside of the brackets. 2 times 3 is 6, and keep the negative sign, so inside of the brackets should be -6. And all we have left, I believe now, is multiplication. 2 times -1 is -2, and -2 times -6 is 12. And again, something I think is very important with these: show your work, show each step of the order of operations, and use parentheses to help keep yourself organized. All right, one more example. Hopefully pretty similar. If x equals -4 and y equals -2, what is the value of? That may be hard for you to read. X squared minus x times the absolute value of y over x to the 3rd power. That's a little better. But this is x squared, this is x to the 3rd. So, same directions as previously. We're finding the value we are evaluating. Substitute and then simplify. So x is -4. So -4 squared minus -4 times the absolute value of -2 all over -4 to the 3rd power. So, first step in the order of operations is symbols of inclusion. So, we should treat the fraction bar, in this case, as a symbol of inclusion. Simplify everything in the numerator first, but within the numerator we also have to follow the order of operations. And the absolute value we've talked about is a symbol of inclusion. So let's start with finding the absolute value of -2, which is +2. and keep everything else. Negative 4 squared minus negative 4 times 2 on the bottom. Keep negative 4 to the third power. Next, in the numerator, taking care of symbols of inclusion. So, exponents and roots. Negative 4 to the second is 16. Negative 4 times negative 4 is 16. Minus negative 4 times 2. And on the bottom, we can go ahead and simplify our exponent as well. Negative 4 to the third power is negative 64. In the numerator, next step should be multiplication. Negative 4 times 2 is negative 8. And we're keeping everything else, including that subtraction sign, still over negative 64. Alright, now we're down to addition, subtraction, so we can change subtraction to addition and add the opposite. 16 plus 8 is 24. And 24 over negative 64. Now we can divide, but 24 isn't divisible by negative 64, so I would actually just reduce. Both have a common factor. I think the greatest common factor of both is 8. So that means 24 is 3 when we divide by 8. 64 is 8 when we divide by 8. And I'd take that negative sign and put it in front of the fraction. So 24 over negative 64 should reduce to negative 3 over 8. So a few reminders. Make sure when you substitute, use parentheses to help keep yourself organized. Remember to only replace the variable with a number. Keep all other signs and symbols. And make sure to follow the order of operations. Don't try and jam more than one step of the order of operations into one step at a time.